So, I know you guys are here because you guys are interested in how to find a way to build up your accessory for the DSLR. And before I start, how much do you think all the equipment here worth? All the stuff here. We're talking about batteries, the wheels, the tripod, the headphone, two field recorders, a microphone, a LED light.
4,500.
I was going to say 5.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
5. What else? What else?
8 grand.
Okay, 8.
7 and 8.
Okay, 2,300.
All right.
Wow.
Whoa.
Nice.
And the reason why is what I have been doing. I like to read a lot. I'm a nerd, so I read like crazy. And the reason why I do that because when I go to different film forums, I would just review, take a look at what everybody talks about, and then go to different sites and check out their information. So first, and then decide to go through it. Now, how many of you guys here are using a Canon DSLR? Yay. And Nikon? Panasonic? So what camera are you using DSLR? None?
None.
I'm looking at getting a Canon DSLR.
Cool.
I have an old Sony. It's
Sony?
garbage.
It's not a garbage.
I
No
was gonna
camera
say,
is
is it a
garbage.
neck
It's a
sensor?
filmmaker that make it a difference. So no camera is a garbage. Trust me. I mean, they do a camera shootout last year, and then the little tiny 200 camera beat everybody else.
Oh, is that the thing that had Francis Ford Coppola?
Thank you, yes.
Yep. Yeah, and he picked the GH2 over the Alexa.
Yeah. See? So and also because of DP, you have a great DP, any camera can make wonders for you.
Right.
So the reason why you pick out a Canon because I don't know why, I just started to do a research about Canon video formats and such, and realized the Canon is what I want to go with. So I bought lens, everything else, and I stuck with it. So when I decided to upgrade from my T2i, I choose with a 60D because of the screen. Even though there's a new one came out called a 70D, just come out this September. Some great reviews. They actually do autofocus on video mode, so you can actually follow you when you walk and you'll be in focus. So that's really cool, but they still have lots of video issues. Now, for your information, all the Rebel cameras, which is the Canon one, from T2i all the way to T51, T5i, and so on, and the Canon 5D, 7D, full frame or crop frames, they all have the same video quality. The difference is the ISO. ISO on 760D, 7D, and 5D has a little bit more options, which means the low light have more capabilities and a higher ISO. Don't ask me what ISO stands for. I can't remember right now. Have also higher, better resolution, which means that when you have higher ISO, you have more video grain into the footage. So we're not going to go into the technical. The other thing you have to pay attention if you buy it. This is a drawback on a Canon camera, a DSLR. Let's say you only have the camera, you don't have any of these accessories. You're gonna have a audio problem. The audio and the video have 2 frames off sync, no matter what you do. The reason why is simple. The video takes a little for the camera to process. The audio is fairly fast. So what you do in post-production is you move all the audio track 2 frames back, and you're perfectly sync. That's something that you will pay. If you don't, you're not gonna notice in post-production unless you have a bigger screen, or you export out and then you notice there's a bigger screen. That would be a problem. Choosing a DSLR camera is really simple. There is a lot of good camera right now. The Panasonic GS5, which is a little mirrorless camera with a tiny one, touchscreen, shoot the same quality video. $250. Use. Craigslist. I just saw it today. So I'm like, damn, I should want to get it. But no, I don't want to have toys. I don't know what to do with them. So I choose the Canon because of that option. And here's a couple things I understand. The one thing, as a filmmaker, you want to have a few lenses. This is called a prime lens. A prime lens is a lens that you use fully filtered for certain options. Because my camera is a crop camera, and Canon have 2 types, full frames and crop frames. The crop frames means that everything is a little bit tighter inwards. So it's 1/6 closer to the actual what you see on the view. And full frame means that whatever you see in the view is whatever you get. You know? So that's how you can, that's the dumbest way to understand it. So which I'm dummy guy, so that's how I understand it. I don't want to go into the detail because that would be too much headache for me. So for my perspective, I decided to use a prime lens. You can get a 50 millimeter prime lens with an aperture of 1.8, which is very sufficient enough for low light. The quality is actually very nice. You hardly can see much of noises. Just for your information, because of the technology nowadays, you can easily up. What happened to my audio? My video disappeared. Maybe because I did something to it earlier. Don't know what I did. Oh. There you go. Ah! Maybe battery's out. All right, sorry, I can't show it. Yeah. Don't cry. So that basically is. And now, why I choose this prime lens of aperture of 1.8 because it's only costs $98. The prime lens, and you can do the job as a filmmaker. You can get a better one, cost you about $200, which is a 50 millimeters 1/4, or you can go anything better than that. Then you can also pick up a zoom lens. As a filmmaker, low light is a problem a lot of time with the camera, so you pick up a lens that can be useful for low light, such as anything with an aperture of 2.8 and below is good. If you cannot get that because they are like $600, $500, $800, try to go use one. Lens go use is okay, because unless you find crack in the lens, otherwise it should be okay to do it. Problem with lenses are if you buy a cheap lens, $200 lens, and the aperture is 4.0 to and up, you can have a problem with a lot of noise when you shoot it on scenes. Like that lens right now, I believe this is what?
It's a 3.5 to 5.5.
So okay, so this here right now. Yeah, I have a nerd brother here. So it does the job. 3.5 is okay to. This will be too dark for a 3.5 aperture, and yet at the same time, if that's I think it's fairly cheap, right? That's like $350.
That's the kit lens that usually comes with the 60D.
Yeah. Okay. So that is I didn't buy lens. I just buy the body because I already.
Have you ever wanted to be an actor? At Cleveland Academy of Film Acting, anyone can get on the path to a new exciting film career. If you're new to acting, an experienced pro, or somewhere in between, Cleveland Academy is for you. We help place our students in local film projects. Classes are on Wednesday night from 8 to 10 p.m., and your first class is absolutely free. Call 216-323-2393. That's Cleveland Academy of Film Acting.
Admit it. You're the one who killed him. You seduced him, gained his confidence, and then when he wasn't looking, you reached into your purse and without conscience or remorse, you pulled out a gun and shot him. And cut. Curious? Visit theindygathering.com, a film festival, and so much more.
In today's world, there is an absolute need to know how to protect yourself. But who has the time or money for lengthy training sessions with techniques you may not remember in a time of need, or which can wind up putting you in even more danger? With Escape and Survive, you will learn effective, easy-to-remember techniques for getting out of dangerous situations. No complicated moves, no expensive, time-consuming training. Just common sense self-defense. Book your seminar today at escapeandsurvive.com.
Now, if you can't afford to buy any of the lenses and you have old film lenses like Nikon or Pentax or the Russian-made K something cameras, so you can get an adapter, a little tiny adapter, because it costs only $10, $12 like this. This is a Pentax lens, and the camera is a serial camera. If you don't buy this, you can go to Craigslist. A lot of people selling this old film camera, and check it out. Before you buy it, go Google and see whether you can get an adapter for it. The little adapter make it work. And this is a 2.0 aperture. So now you have a low light prime lens, really cool. You know, and doesn't cost you a lot of money.
You can also get manual lenses that way, where you can actually set the aperture, and it doesn't even.
Which I think this is the one that you can do that.
What's the adapter called?
It's just an adapter.
Pentax, the EF adapter.
This is my father's camera. He used it before he passed away, and I like it. Zenix is a Russian camera, and I actually like this lens better than this one because I don't know, it actually looks nicer. I did a test on Facebook page. I posted the difference between the three lenses. This is the one I like the most. It's so clear. I think it's a 2.0 also, so it's actually pretty cool. Pass around. Just don't take it home. So thank you. Now, independent filmmaker wise, you can get a zoom lens for a certain shot. 3.5 to up, aperture will be okay. No big deal. You know, this is cheap. This only cost me about $100 used. I go to Amazon.com all the time to buy them. And what I like about this is it's actually because I have the IS with the stabilizer option, and also I can auto focus fairly quickly, so you can do that. Now, as a filmmaker, I learned about shooting movies through a film camera, 16mm. So manual focus is something I like to do a lot. I do not like to use. Yeah, obviously I did have a camera that does a camcorder that do autofocus. DSLR are not suggested to be used when you have a 3 hours event or 2 hours event or anything over 40 minutes event. Except if you use a Panasonic camera, you can record forever. Canon's cameras usually 12 minutes will stop or 30 minutes will stop. The new one, 17D or the 5D, I think 5D can do it. Because when you record half an hour and stop, it continue recording every half an hour, which is cool. But they said that if you want to shoot video, get a video camcorder. The reason why most people want to use this now is because it looks cool, it looks really, it's cheap, you can have access to it, and you can take pictures too. I take both, so that's the reason why I do that. So now you have lens idea. And now, if you do manual focus, this I don't think I need to cover, right? And you have manual focus, and you like me like to do that all the depth of field. You can buy a cool rail system here with a little cranking thing device and to do the focusing. The problem with that is when you have small lens like this. This is the 50mm lens is this tiny. So the little focus ring adapter they have for all those real ones usually have a hard time to get attached to it. So what I found out, there's two companies. One is called DSLR Solutions, which is a little metal ring. There's a Velcro system put around it, and then the ring go up there, and then you can adjust it. I hated it because when we're shooting Will, you keep the Velcro keep moving, so I couldn't focus on correctly. So I had to do, based on my instinct, know where to stop manually. And then after that, I give that away. So that thing only costs $50, so no big deal. So I Googled and found this one. This invented by two kids. This basically you to stop it. You don't have to have a little clip there. You can just go all the way up. Guess how much this thing costs? $60. $60 by a company called Focus Shifter. I actually have one for Shirafa off later today. So if you want to put your business card in the basket, then you can do that. That'd be cool. You get a battery grip because I want to have a little more battery than usually that come in here. A battery grip is basically give you twice the battery time that you can have. You can buy the original one from Canon or Nikon or whatsoever. I choose cheap version because really I don't see a difference yet. So that's my opinion. A lot of people have said that use other companies' battery will not work. For me, this third company's battery has worked for me pretty well, so I have no problem with that. So I'm going a little bit too fast, but I think that's pretty easy.
So you have two batteries?
Yes, there's two batteries in there instead of one, so you have double the time that you can use the battery with.
Well, that also protects you if you're using off-brand batteries, because off-brand batteries, once in a while they can explode, but that way, if it explodes in your battery grip instead of your camera.
I haven't seen anybody have a battery explode, but there has been overheating issues. Yeah. Any camera. Now the Panasonic and I think the Nikon can record forever, which is kind of cool. and they have their video part option has a little bit more advantage than Canon, from my understanding. But since I don't use any of those cameras, so I cannot comment much about it. So everything here is about Canon. If you use other cameras, just take this as a reference point. Never ever buy this thing. I hated it. The little holder that holds three things. It is so finicky. I hated it. I thought it was cool. I can put three things in the same thing, and then when I realized, oh my god, that's. It's only cost me $11, but no idea. Now this is called LED light. There's a lot of big companies doing this. This is a Chinese made by the brand name is CN126. It uses regular batteries, or you can use Sony camcorder batteries, which I happen to have 4 of those at home because I do have 2 Sony cameras. So I'm surprisingly, one day I was shooting an event and the performer decided to go out of the stage, go to the public where there's no lights at all. I turned this thing on, watch any lights. I stayed for about a couple hours for it without no problem. So how bright it gets. And the base of the battery, I mean, if your battery is small, then obviously you don't do it. There should be a filter in front of it, but I sat on it and broke it. Now, audio is very important. Most of the DSLR audio is crap. The Rebel cameras, like the T2i, T3i, I think even T4i, you cannot manually control the audio because they have called the audio automatic gain control.
After the 4 you can.
After 4 you can? Okay, so up to 4 point. So I was right. Yeah, shoot. The problem with that is basically if you have automatic gain control on, which is forever, unless you use Magic Lantern, I do not want to use that because I don't want to screw up myself. I'm not that nerdy yet. So what the good does is it will give you, when you have quietness, the background noise will gain higher, and then when you talk, then the background noise will go back down. So the problem with that is that it's not going to be useful audio. So they always recommend people to use an external audio device. There's a cheap one, the DR05, or DR07, H2N, H4N, which is the recent one that everybody rave about it. And then now you have the new one, which is Tascam DR60, which I don't know why they call it DR60, because this is 60D. So it gets so confusing when you read online about the reviews, but you don't know which one they're talking about.
Cleveland Academy for Self-Defense is Northeast Ohio's premier martial arts school. Located on Cleveland's near west side, we teach several martial arts disciplines, specializing in Taekwondo and Hapkido. As taught by Master Ray Such, students of Cleveland Academy learn discipline, formal martial arts training, and real-world self-defense techniques. Classes are available for children and adults. Cleveland Academy for Self-Defense, the home of champions.
Are you a filmmaker looking for the location of your next project? Contact the North Coast Film Commission. With small cities throughout Ohio, we're here to help with your film, television, and commercial productions. With low to no cost permits and locations, we'll help stretch your budget. From our production resources to our talent database, we will show you just what the North Coast has to offer. Visit northcoastfilmcommission.com today.
Welcome to Movie Outline 3, your first step to a successful screenplay. Movie Outline is powerful screenplay development software for both the amateur and the professional screenwriter, which uses the simple technique of step outlining to build your story, characters, and screenplay scene by scene. With Movie Outline, you can easily plan and customize your story structure, color code acts, rearrange scenes, develop and track characters, format your screenplay, and compare your own story to successful Hollywood movies. Movie Outline is the ultimate writer's tool. Visit www.movieoutline.com to download the free demo today.
So DR60 or the Zoom H6, which is a new one too.
What is it?
Zoom H6. So the difference is, they both are great new toy. I call them toys. I bought this first because this came out first, and then Zoom came out big announcement about they're coming out this. This can record up to 4 microphones, 2 XLR, and then one stereo mini mic in, so you can record 2 more mono mini jacks adapter type. This can record 4 XLR plus the front end here can record that microphone, can be adjust adapter, can change out and put a new one. I like the way Zoom was packaged because it will give you this adapter, another adapter for different environments. And the Tascam comes only this. No batteries, no SD card, no nothing.
No.
So you buy everything separately. Audio-wise, they both work the same. I personally like the bottom one better because I'm short, and if I had a camera, the tripod higher about this level, and had to watch the view, everything else, I cannot go like this to look up here because it's up there, but this is right in my level. See the difference? That's the only reason why I like it better. Other than that, they all do the good job. They both have the same thing. Audio microphone in, you can put into the record here on the devices, or you can have a line out to go into the camera. If your camera is manual, you set your camera manual to the lowest point, which is about 2 bars, and then you have the max and then actually go in. Believe it or not, the audio coming recorded to here, once you use this machine, then do the adjustment, is sufficient enough that you don't even need to record here. We did 4 interviews recently, and we realized the audio is so good, nobody noticed the difference, so we don't even bother with the bottom one. So we just deleted the audio from the recorder from here. No big deal. But back up. Cool thing about this one, the bottom one, is the 2 tracks that you record with the XLR can create a backup audio. So let's say you have a scenery and there's a lady screaming, a shouting match going on, and the audio peak. There's a backup audio that can be recorded in the -6 decimal, which is great. So you have a backup in case something screws up. This one can do the same thing, except only can be done in the adapter you use for the front part of it, not in this part. Everybody said that you can do all of it after read the manual. No, you cannot. So don't spend less on an audio device because your DSLR is really do not have good audio. So you need to have good devices to complement that part. So if you can afford a $399 or $350, get a DR40 or the H4n. They are about $150, $200. If that's still too expensive for you, get a DR05. That's only used one. You refurbished one on Amazon.com is about $60. So then you had to do. Don't sacrifice the microphone. Microphone is very important. With the DSLR cameras, Canon-wise, they always recommend anything you can do. You can use it with. Since I already have 3 shotgun mics at my studio, so I need to get something better than those. So I didn't want to get the Rode. Rode actually is really good. The Rode Video Mic Pro is a really good mic for DSLR because it does have this amplified phantom power to go all the way to -20 decibel. So give you a really constant audio that a complement to the recording devices. I read that stuff. I didn't.
Would you record that right into the camera or into the...
You can run into camera, you can run into the devices, yeah.
If you look at that, like, time it right, because a couple of times they run a promotion where they give away a copy of Pluralize, which is $200 for free if you buy the $250 mic.
Yes.
So you could get the mic, if you don't like it, sell it, and then you just got Pluralize for $50.
If you don't know what Pluralize is a program that actually automation of syncing out the audio for you. So if you have 3 cameras, you have 1 audio track, you actually automatically everything done. But remember, Canon always had 2 frames off, so you always still have to move everything back 2 frames. Okay? Otherwise, it'll be like his film, 2 frames off sync.
There's one shot. One shot.
I had to fix it.
One shot.
Even with the
48
Pro,
hours, so it was rushed,
Yeah.
so understandable.
Well, because the Pluralize looks at you need the audio still turned on the camera, and it matches the waveforms, and then locks it together.
I never gonna use that program because I've been editing from when I was shooting film, so I can use the wave file, see the peak part, and then do it. Sometimes if you don't know, you don't have the capability to use a slate, or you don't know how to do this when you before shoot it, then polarize will work really, really good. I don't need any of those. I can just look at a wayfile, do it right away. I can do that within seconds because I've been doing it all the time. So
you match the wave file and then you bump it back 2 frames on top of that?
Yes. So I talk about this, talk about the microphone. So I have a Audio-Technica 8035, and I have a biodynamic mic, which is an ME6. That was like 8 years ago. I sold it for $100 because I didn't need it anymore because the audio became very quiet. So I bought the Sennheiser MKE 600 simply because everybody was raving about it, and this came out just recently. It's only for $400 and does really good job. And I was impressed how, like they were talking with her, I can actually pick up the audio once I ended today. Almost like inspired with their conversation. It's kind of cool. I was doing it a few times yesterday. So, yeah. Now, obviously, having all those devices, you need to have a good tripod. I've been shopping around like tripod, and I really don't like plastic tripod. I just don't think they're comfortable or they're easy enough for controlling. So I bought a Manfrotto photo tripod. Thought it was cool. I hated it. I got it for $120, even though retail was like $250. Somebody's selling the Craigslist for news. I got it. So I went online, and I have a Manfrotto, one of those professional camcorder tripod. I can't remember the name. It's with a 501 HDV fluid head. So it's a heavy duty one, but it's really good. I just didn't like to carry that around. So I bought this one. And guess how much this one costs?
$200.
Come on, keep going. Huh? $500? $150.
What? Okay, I need to
Say
find out what you
keep
got. Yeah.
No wheels.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
No wheels. The trick about if you shoot lots of videos, you know the trick is having a rubber band around the panel here, and then just put a rubber band, and that will give you a really perfect pan. How to test out how whether a tripod is something you really like to do is use one finger. And if you can push it gently like this, you know this is really good fluid pan camera tripod. So the bad thing about this tripod, actually this is a good brand name type tripod. The bad thing about tripod you can see right now is so-called quick release. It's not quick release at all. Look at this. I'm gonna. Yeah. I had to pop this out, turn it this way, and then unscrew it, and keep doing that until this is ready to get out. So most of the tripod, the Manfrotto tripod I have, you can take about 1 second and to open it up. This takes me about 2 minutes to 3 minutes. But $150, I'm not gonna complain.
You two have disrupted my classroom for the last time.
What are you gonna do about it? Spank us?
She can't spank us. It's against the law.
Spanking would be too easy. I want to cause more permanent damage.
And cut! Curious? Visit theindiegathering.com, a film festival, and so much more.
So the same thing here. All this thing is you have to pop it out a little bit if you know to change the screws. So you're shooting on location. You only have a 2-man crew, and you need somebody to hold the boom pole for you. This is called a micro boom pole from Rode. Good brand, right? And I got it just for tonight because we're supposed to shoot something here. I didn't realize this thing is so light. Look at that. I can hold it with one hand. I have another one from there. It's a 10 feet long, but that's a $150 boom pole. There is a lot about review about this type of boom pole. Is the wire had to be wrapped around it. So which means that when you touch the cable a lot or touch the boom pole a lot, you can hear the noises. So you have to be smart about not doing that kind of stuff. Pass it on. So now you have all the stuff, and then you want to spend more money on make your life easy. Like today, for me to walk from here to there, I just put some what do you call it, dolly wheels. They're $42, and this is a dolly wheel that can hold up to 35 pounds. You can get cheaper one, but I always get one that can hold as much weight as possible because I usually may be using a DVX 200 here and so on. So I want to make sure I have something that can weight. And this dolly thing is actually good for a smooth floor, so it doesn't bumpy. You know, look at this. No, I know, they're not gonna fall. Oh, I have seen videos on YouTube about people dropping the test can and nothing happened to it. I've seen videos about people dropping it and people get scared because it looks like it can break that easily. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna. Finally, for any other DSLR camera who does not have a screen that can swivel out, is you can buy a cheap 7-inch HD mother. This is only costs $150. They have a battery back here for 2 hours, so you can actually hook it up somewhere and you watch it. If you have the Rebel cameras or anything less than a 5D, I believe, even the Seti had the same problem. You can use this when you place record in the camera. You can plug it in here. You're getting a 480 display because the camera only have one processor and you cannot process 2 image informations at the same time.
Yeah.
I think the 5D can do 2 images. Maybe, I can't remember exactly. We actually used it for one shoot with 3 5Ds recently, and it does the job. This is not for color correction of your shot, more for framing purposes. So you want something better than that, you get a Ninja 2, which I have a HDMI out in recording.
There's also an app for all Android devices. It's a
$10
app that you can plug in with a adapter cable and use it to control. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have my cable with it, otherwise I could show you.
You can actually do a Wi-Fi too for the Android. Not for the iPad. iPad do not have that capability at this point yet. We've been trying to do. You can hook a laptop to the camera, but we did it with a Mac and it shut down after 8 hours of usage. It just decided to give me a problem, so we said screw it. And anybody want to get a slider where basically put the camera so you can go left and right. You get the cheapest one made by gearsglide.com, made in USA completely for $147. So it's the cheapest price you can get, and I found. If you want to get a jib so you can go 8 foot tall, $189, you can get that. You can hook it up to your tripod. I think I covered everything, did I? And battery-wise, this lasts only 3 hours. This lasts 9 hours in battery usage. So carry lots of battery with you if you're going to buy this one. Or you buy battery called envelope from Sanyo. It's a lot of filmmakers recommend that because they kind of last a little longer. I don't know because I never actually made sure how long it lasts. I just changed this yesterday battery, so I don't know. Any questions so far?
Your master audio for your final product, is that going to be recorded to this and then you sync it up with the audio recorded into the camera?
But right now, because I figure out how to go from here to here, I kind of don't use this audio from here anymore.
So it's just kind of like a pass-through then?
Yes.
You just record it right on your footage.
However, if you don't know if your camera don't have manual control, then you're going to have to use this and this video here, audio here, and then sync it on in post. Remember, Canon push back 2 frames, and that's what I had to do. Same thing here too. It's the audio here, video here, and then sync that in post. Unless you figure out how to do it perfectly well to your camera, and your camera has manual control, then you can do that. Couple things. There is a Technicolor has a Cine style plug that is free for anybody who want to download. Which makes basically for DSLR camera any type that you can actually put in there and create a new preset. The preset gives you a very, very flat looking quality, completely flat. It looks very, very ugly. So if you have a client there next to you, don't show it to them because they get a complaint like crazy. Which I had one before, so I you know, but unfortunately that happened. But it's really good for post-production color correction. It will bring out the color tone much more better than anything else. I personally have not really played with that part yet, but it's something to consider. It's great, right?
Very good.
Which one? Technicolor?
Technicolor have a called Cine style. And anybody who want to go crazy and play with Magic Lantern, Magic Lantern is a user-based, free, quote-unquote hack that actually can work for like a 5D, 7D, 60D to export raw, can shoot raw or export raw footage through the HDMI cable. I in the person did not play with that because I don't want to accidentally screw up my camera. I think there some people have got problem, but not everybody does.
I download mine for the Mark III.
Yeah.
And I'm using the Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
But you download it from Canon.
Which one? The Magic Lantern?
It's kind of like the Magic Lantern, but it's from Canon.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. They had to update the firmware.
Yeah. You can work with it.
Yeah.
So it's more. You are
that's
concerned about your
yeah.
camera.
Especially
that's right.
T2i or a 5D2.
Oh wait, wait, talk. Before we get to the EP talking here.
In today's world, there is an absolute need to know how to protect yourself. But who has the time or money for lengthy training sessions with techniques you may not remember in a time of need, or which can wind up putting you in even more danger? With Escape and Survive, you will learn effective, easy-to-remember techniques for getting out of dangerous situations. No complicated moves, no expensive, time-consuming training. Just common sense self-defense. Book your seminar today at escapeandsurvive.com.
Admit it. You're the one who killed him. You seduced him, gained his confidence. And then when he wasn't looking, you reached into your purse, and without conscience or remorse, you pulled out a gun and shot him. And cut. Curious? Visit theindygathering.com, a film festival, and so much more.
Yeah, that's right. 5D actually have a new firmware where you can actually have a clean HDMI out. I completely forgot about that. Hopefully they can do. Remember also, it's not a camera that makes you a good filmmaker, it's yourself. If you know how to light the camera, how to light the scene, how to shoot it right, how to watch out for moire or aliasing issues with the camera, which means that all this DSLR does have a problem. If you don't know what that means, when you shoot something like this lady here with all these lines on her shirt, it will come out like a little artifact. You noticed that before, right?
What?
No?
Zigzagging.
The zebras.
So that's a moire that most DSLR has it, except for the 5D has less That's what they said. The GH had less, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that is the two that does have less, but they still have, even digital camera, camcorder has those, but they have different lens.
You can even get more on red. It's because of the CMOS sensor. That
There is a company actually made a little filter thing you have to put inside there. It's kind of more removable. For the 60D, it's $385, so I don't want to spend the money yet. I already spent enough here. And I always use cables. You know, I have lots of cables. Somebody used to live underneath me, move away, and left a bunch of. He's a musician, so he left a bunch of XLR cables in my basement. So I got free cables like crazy. I don't know what to do with them. Microphone, headphone-wise, I don't know. A good monitor headphone will cost about $150. Well, there's a Sennheiser and there's a Sony. MD150 is the one that Sony. Yeah, everybody uses. I really don't care what that is. All I need to do is I can hear the clean audio. So I use a very basic, cheap $30 Tascam. I like the white color, just a little bit different. So I'll be a little bit different. Unfortunately, it does make me look like my head is tiny. Look at this. So, yeah, it's okay. Any questions so far? Yeah, you guys kind of feel free to play with this thing a little bit if you want to.
So if you were, you said you don't like the mount system there. I'm just wondering how you would do it, what you would use differently.
Oh, buy a cage.
Component.
Yeah.
Now there's a little thing called cage. I found out too. It's a square thing you can put around the camera, so you can have here, 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 here. Obviously, every little thing you have to buy separately, so it rocks up. There's no cheap cage. The cheapest cage I found is about $150, which is just by itself. So.
Where do you? Like what company makes that?
there's a ton of companies.
Yeah, there's a ton of companies. Now,
I gave you a tip.
yes.
I built a cage for the camera for an SLR. Get the rods from an old scanner or an old devices. Have those steel rods, and based on that, you go to Home Depot. They sell aluminum square. You can just cut it. Get the screws and put it and make. I'm building the whole support for the camera. Adapt follow focus, adapt all those attachments for less than $50.
Nice.
But of course you have to build.
So here's another little toy that I found. cheesycam.com actually reviewed this and love it. So it's a Phil Bloom and a couple other people. A filmmaker, Garrett Edwards, he shot a movie called Monster. Now he's going to be directing the new Godzilla that's supposed to be coming out. He got very popular because he shot a really cool movie called Monsters, well, very independent movie-wise, and he used this thing throughout the whole shoot. Now he have a chronic back pain, so because he's using a Sony EX3 on this thing. Okay, this is plastic. Come on. What this is a shoulder stabilizer. My review about it is when you have the camera and you breathe like crazy, this thing gonna move up and down.
Right.
So pay attention to that. Otherwise, you actually pretty good. This is only $35. The company called Cowboy Studio. They actually have a lot of cheap stuff there. And
Yeah,
pretty cool
that was,
stuff.
I used that for a 48-hour shoot. That was
Oh, really?
cool. Yeah. Because we had to chase somebody who was being chased, so it worked pretty
Which
well.
movie did you participate in?
I did Allure. It was in screening group A.
Okay, I know which one it is. I seen them all.
Oh,
Anyway,
cool.
well, I had to alter them all together, put them all together in one Blu-ray. So they're still in my office. Carrying stuff. There's a company called ePhoto. They make very kind of funny kind of stuff on Amazon.com, obviously. This is one of the backpack. I really like this, but it kind of drives me crazy sometimes because it's too heavy. Every camera gear stuff, I have it here. You talk about the DSLR, the lens here. You can also in the back here put a laptop. You can put a monopod here and stick it in the back here. And all the little tiny additional stuff you need, cables, batteries, you can put in front. Very, very useful. So, but I realized that this is not enough for me. Now that I have so many toys around me. So I bought another bag. Well, that's $52. And this is $42. I use this for all my audio stuff. You basically have the same options. You can order, you can put laptop in here, which I put my Zoom here, I put my Tascam here, all the adapters, cables here. Cool thing about this is there's a zipper part down here. And guess what? I have another microphone here. So you put all your mics in.
Beer in there too.
Yes, you can. Oh, yeah. I totally agree. So that will work.
How are you?
Good, good.
Good to see you.
Likewise. So the I would say that if you are to shop for low price cheap things, go to different filmmaking groups, check out what they're talking about. Go to Amazon.com and look around it. I did not bring. There is a bag called Kata DSLR Resource One book bag, which is huge. Like Ryan was using before. Have one section for camcorder and have bottom is all lens department. A $300 bag. Somebody and some company in Amazon.com accidentally posted as $89. So I bought it right away. Now I put it in Craigslist for sale for $200. So you can find things like, because I don't need it. I get 20 bags already. So you can find things like that and be smart about it. Don't just buy it because of the brand. Just buy it because you can use them. You know. Anything, either, this can be a very expensive low pro, I know. But at the same time, if I can use it for a year, I got my money back for a year usage. That's why I look at it. All right, thank you very much.